When you think of a mental model, it is the way that you view the world. It is really simply the way that you evaluate, the way that you make decisions in real time within your life. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at two different mental models, and it is really one versus the other side. And I'm going to start on the borrower side. So when I was in my 20s, guys, I had an auto loan, I had student loan debt, I had credit card debt. There was a lot to do on the borrower side. And really, when I started getting into my 30s, I feel like it might have come at a younger age for me just because of my social situation and my parents not really doing any investing. But the other side of that model is the investing side. I got to the point when I was in my late 20s that I realized that I was going to be a borrower, or could be actually a borrower for the rest of my life when it came to everything, and not having the ability or really the knowledge and know-how to repay the debt, which made a big difference, guys, because I got really motivated, stacked up, and paid off as much debt as I could. And the way that I did this, my really mental model, or the shift that I seen, is when you look at what you make in a paycheck. So let's say, for instance, you're making $20 an hour. During my monthly really budgeting and going and figuring out exactly how much I pay in interest, I was paying about $400 in interest at making $20 an hour. Guys, that's right. I had to work 5 hours to pay back $100. That means I had to work 20 hours to pay back that $400. And of course, we know through taxes and everything else, getting $20 an hour does not mean that you bring home $20 an hour, which means I spent a lot of the money that I earned that was going straight towards interest every single month when I had to pay it. This is the reason, and this was really the mental model, or the shift that I had, saying, hey, I can see the other side, or I can see where this is going to be very detrimental. That is where the mental model for the investor came in, guys. Now, I didn't start investing until I was very early into my 30s. And first of all, I went through and I eliminated all of my debt. And it was really a game changer, guys. Ever since that time, when it comes to auto loans, personal loans, credit card debt, we have none. We carry none, zero. A lot of people wonder how I have so much money to invest. That's what we're going to be breaking down in this video, guys. Now, looking at the investor mindset. So the investor mindset is really the long-term thinker, paying attention and delaying gratification, making investments in the short term to have more meaningful returns and larger returns in the long term. That is right, guys. When you think of investors, when you look at Warren Buffett, when you think of Charlie Munger, it is really the short-term sacrifice for pleasure or gratification for the long-term reward. And that is the way that you really have to frame this up, guys. It is going to be the long-term play and the debt elimination in the investing. If you invest in a year, you might make a little bit of money. When you amplify that to 5 years, you make a lot more. 10, 20, 30 years, you start seeing compounding interest, and really the effect that it can have, and the game changer for literally the rest of your life and your kids' lives and your grandkids' lives, if you are really buckled in and have this mental model in your mindset. And then, of course, on the other side of this, which I was again until probably my early 30s, which was the borrower mindset. Short-term thinker, unwilling to delay gratification, taking out loans to experience pleasure or have items in the short term, but paying for those in the long term. That is the big difference, guys. When you think of compounding interest, when you think of the ability to envision your future self, and I know a lot of people, that take out an incredible amount of loans just to have the stuff now. That is the reason why we've seen a huge raise and a huge rise with the pay as you go, or 12 months, 0%, 18 months, 24 months, 0%. The people want it and they want it now, and there's no other way that they're going to be able to experience it. Gone is the time of really saving up money to purchase things with cash, with a debit, with money that you already have. It seems like that is kind of going the way of the dodo bird, as they say. But I also think, and I've seen James Clear, I've read some of his work, the power of tiny gains, guys. If you get 1% better every single day, that is right. In 1 year, you will be 37% better, which means that you can go ahead, you can get 1% better every day in everything you do. This can be applied to your job. This can be applied to content creation on YouTube. It can be your side hustle. It can also be the personal development of getting in shape, of educating yourself, going back to school, reading books. There's a lot of things, again, and this goes back to the investor mindset, is you're putting a lot more time and effort for the long-term return that you're really going to get out of that. Now, when you think of the borrower side, the borrower takes out a loan. The loan gives upfront pleasure. They can get everything they need, but it is at a catch, which is interest, guys. There's going to be one side of the equation with the borrower that is paying interest on a mortgage, interest on an auto loan, interest on credit cards, interest on student loan debt. It is insane when you start adding up the amount of interest that most people pay in a month. But on the flip side of it, when you have the investor side, they are paying you interest. You are getting dividends. You are getting returns. Banks, credit unions, investment companies are going to pay you to hold their money instead of you just being stuck with the bill, which again is what a lot of people are stuck with. So what is really the big differences, guys, again, between the investor and the borrower? Number one, guys, the time decisions. That is right. Procrastination is the manifestation of a borrower. Now, I really, again, reading this and going through this, it's kind of crazy to think, but that is so very true, guys, is everybody kind of puts off what they need to be doing today for the later you, and the later you is going to regret it because you're not being really proactive. Now, procrastination also takes the form of taking out loans and really paying for it later and sticking your, again, future self with the bill instead of raising money and actually having the investor mindset, making an investment of the time of today, executing a high quality, time crunch stress, and also we force ourselves to become more experienced in the process. Now, this can go into everything, even outside of finance, guys. The article kind of breaks down relationship decisions. When you think of the investor mindset, it is really a very different mentality where the upfront pain can have the long-term gains. So if you know you're in a relationship that is not working out very well, and you know that it is ultimately going to land somewhere down the road where it's going to be just kind of drug out, a lot of people will not take the investor mindset and just go ahead and cut your losses. A lot of people will do the borrower mindset and the avoidance and really save this all for a later day. You could be 2, 3, 5 years down the road knowing that the individual that you're with is not right for you, and then it just essentially delays it until that time. This can also fall over to your health decisions, guys. Short-term pleasure in the form of inactivity, social media scrolling, binge drinking, anything else is going to be the mindset of the borrower, which again, you're not doing exactly what you need to. The investor is going to choose the short-term pain in the form of physical activity, time away from the home, from the phone, healthy consumption of food, compounding the long-term benefits. Now, they've always went back this, and one thing that I always remember, guys, they say, if you brush your teeth every single day, you're going to go to the dentist, you're going to be absolutely fine. If you only go to the dentist every 6 months, your teeth are going to rot and they are going to fall out. It is really the investor mindset of the kind of repetition in a day-to-day thing that you're doing. When you think of physical activity, when you think of, again, spending time away from your phone, brushing your teeth, taking care of your health, eating better, the compounding of that falls just in line with investing. If you're investing $50 a paycheck, if you bump it up to $100 a paycheck, you're just snowballing the amount that you're going to be investing and also shortening the time frame to really hit that investing goal. And then, of course, the biggest one, guys, is the financial decisions. That's right. You can choose the buy now, pay later. You can put it on a credit card with interest. You can take out a loan, but it always does have to be paid, guys. There is a point where with the borrower mindset that the bill is going to come due, the money is going to come due. The investor mindset, like I said, saving up for what you're going to buy, just purchasing the item that you're looking to get, even if it is a very, very short term. And again, kind of a mental shift of being able to pay for things without having to borrow money and paying interest. And again, when you start looking at the big picture, and this, again, it was kind of a game changer, guys, where if you look at the big picture of what you're looking to purchase now, can you get it for cheaper? Can you get it for discounted? How long is it going to take you to get and save up that money? When I think of a new automobile, let's say right now, in my case, we have the car paid off. So we are setting aside a car payment that we still remained in the budget. That is going into an account. Essentially, when that account hits a certain point, there's going to be the ability to purchase a car because we've already saved the money to buy the car. We're not going to be borrowing a car to pay interest on that. And when you even look at the interest, guys, when you look at, let's say, $50,000, and right now the current rate is around 7%, you're paying thousands, if not tens of thousands, depending on your credit rating. When it comes to the repayment of that loan, it is astronomically more expensive. You get the car up front, but you pay an extra $12,000 in the end definitely not worth it because you're stuck in the borrower mindset. So, all right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you are an investor mindset, a borrower mindset, and exactly how you think that you could make that shift, moving from the borrower mindset into that investment mindset and really making sure you're the investor. That's, again, is going to do it for the video, and I'll catch you in the next one.